I remember my parents split up when I was like 13, 14, and that forced and I don't know what the life would have been if they wouldn't have, right?
Mhm.
That was a gut punch, man.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get over that. It took me like my that was the beginning of my independence. That was the beginning of me putting up a wall and sheltering myself and shielding myself from people who could potentially hurt me. I talk about that in therapy, right? It's like, is this a defense mechanism? Probably so. You ready to let it down? No, it's got me this far. Right? Like it is. And so I think there's so much to unpack about changing, and I think that's changing when not to change and understanding why are you holding on to this, you know, this ketchup in the fridge or folding the towel so deeply, you know? What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. It's your boy Ferg, joined by co-hosts Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
What up, y'all? We still at war. And it's
Rozzy said a
escalating.
week.
And the Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz and mined it. And Trump said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Y'all can go through it." And Iran said, "Yeah, y'all go ahead through it." And so 3 oil tankers actually caught on fire in the Strait of Hormuz trying to go through there. Then y'all Vice President JD Vance said, or no, it was Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War or Secretary of Defense. I will not call it that. I got to stop calling it that. Secretary of Defense said, "No, the Strait of Hormuz is open. If Iran would just stop bombing people, it'll be open." Yeah, that means that it's closed because they are bombing people. So he's an idiot on there. So just want to throw that out there. Other thing that I got, man, there are rumors swirling that Jay-Z may have booked the Barclays Center for 2 weeks for the 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt, and I'm here for it. If so, we will be in New York, Buff. So I don't know if you're gonna come up there. I missed the Book of Hove. I will not miss this. So whenever that happens, I'm jumping on a plane. We're gonna be there. So we need to get tickets. I'm be there like they be on like Beyonce concerts and stuff, trying to figure out, scalp it, do whatever. But I'm gonna make sure I'm there for that one. So kind of excited for that. And finally, man, for the bad chicks out there, the baddies, the long nail wearing ladies, there is a new keyboard that with a new design just for you that it doesn't have flat keys. They actually are raised, and so that you can actually type on them with your nails and they won't hit the other keys and stuff like that. So why y'all looking like that? Like, I'm just reporting what is.
Byron, were you aware of that?
No. I just want to
What
know how
kind
you
of
know that.
kind of bad algorithm do you have
you
that
know
this
that?
pops up in your news
And
feeds,
don't blame
your
Haley.
Facebook, your social?
I
Like,
am,
do you
I'm an IT expert. Remember, like, this is part of my job is to know the new tech that's out there, and
But there's
so
all
it just
kind of
came
tech
up.
going
The
on.
same one that talks about AI and new technologies and the RAM and everything else. They posted that one, so it was like that's how it came up. It's like
For all my
that
bad
is future tech.
ticks.
Matter of fact, I think it was Future Tech was the actual like account that posted it. So I don't know, man, but that's kind of cool. So for the ladies out there, and if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you check us out on YouTube. I'll put a picture of it up, and so you can go look for it and find it if you want to try it out. So that's all I got, man. Y'all gonna get off of me talking about me.
First off, you missing the Book of Hove is partly my fault. We were all
It's all your
set.
fault. It's all your fault. All your
Okay.
fault.
All
It's
right.
all your fault.
That's fair. That's actually fair. But it wasn't my fault. It was the Senate's fault. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But we were all set. I want to let the listeners know we were all set to go. And then it looked like the Senate was going to be in session. And these two brothers said, well, okay, we can't come. And then I wound up having to go by myself, man. But
that was the worst. That was like the stab, like et tu brute
Yeah, bro,
moment. Like I see the
Me and
post of
Hov
you walking through
freestyling.
it. I'm like, oh, what is this?
I have a very unpredictable schedule sometimes, man.
And then on top of that, remember, I actually went up to New York took
Like a
Haley
day
for her
late?
birthday. No,
Yeah, that's right.
remember like the
Yeah,
week or two after
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and they were closed that Sunday for I think it was a holiday that Monday, and they closed that Sunday for the holiday that was on that Monday. So I didn't get a chance to go, even though I, like got on the train, went over there, everything, and still missed it. So yeah, two times I tried to go and still couldn't get in there.
So if he announces that, we definitely in there. So our boy from This Is Us and Paradise, Sterling K. Brown, he appeared on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast. And I promise this isn't a question. I promise it's not a question. But I just found it funny that, you know, while he's with his wife, he met Michelle Obama. He was retelling the story when he met Michelle Obama. And he said it was like the Key and Peele skit, like, you know, it was these white people. And she was like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing? And then he got to her and he was like, can I have a hug? And she was like, boy, bring it on in here. He was like, ah! In front of his wife. It's like, no shame. No shame. I just want to know, is there anybody that y'all would just like, sorry, wife, but I gotta like fanboy for a minute. Right? Like, is there anybody that y'all would just kind of?
Michelle is probably one of them.
Yeah.
Michelle is probably the one, because I mean, I'm assuming, because I don't fanboy easily, but Michelle, when it comes to a woman,
AOC
like,
for me.
huh?
AOC. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So y'all know I love me some AOC, man.
But it's not even like an attractive thing.
No,
It's just like
it's not with AOC. Like it's a little bit of that, but for the most part with AOC, it's like I love her as a politician. Like Jasmine Crockett's starting to get there too with me. Like I like her. I like her little feistiness, but
I mean,
AOC is that one that
I mean,
that's
I
just like,
like
oh
it,
my
but
god,
it's something like about Michelle. Michelle to me is kind of a once in a lifetime
she's the real
persona.
life Claire.
Yes, plus some
Mm-hmm.
upgrade, you know, and so her demeanor, it's just her confidence, her downer, like it's just something about her that you're like, you're the GOAT. And even like a GOAT in a situation where there's not supposed to be a GOAT. Like if I met Jordan, like you're the GOAT, you play sports, like we recognize you as a GOAT. Like you're not even trying to be the best. Like this is who you are. Like this is your persona. This is the life you live this life. Right. I don't know, man. I'm Michelle. I'm trying to think. Anybody else? Maybe Jill Scott. Somebody Jill
Oh,
Scott.
all right,
Somebody
yeah,
Jill Scott.
yeah.
It's like I'm come in for the hug.
Okay.
That's enough. That's enough.
I
I
just
just feel like she hugs good.
I just want to flex a
Yeah,
bit.
that big Ariella music.
I haven't met Michelle Obama, but I have seen her. I've been right next to her before. And I've met AOC. So that's my flex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever.
It's almost not even a flex anymore. It's
Y'all know,
just
right?
kinda
We
just
know
the
Byron. We
expectation.
know.
That's cute.
And the
What
other
about
one,
you?
only
No, but you
I don't know. I think the people that I know for sure are no longer here with us. Like it's not even just women with me. Like I think Malcolm X, I wouldn't have been like how Sterling K. Brown was with Michelle, but I definitely would have really appreciated
okay.
meeting him.
Okay. That's why I
It
was
would be
asking.
Oh yeah, there's guys. I didn't know we
It's
were
not a
going the
lot of
guy
guys.
route.
Like
I
I don't
was just
fanboy.
like,
The only guy probably would be Stevie for me.
okay.
Like
I
it's
can
something
see
about
that.
Barack.
Stevie's
Yeah,
energy.
I can see that. I can see that.
I'm more of the I would be honored to meet Barack, but like to me, like I would dap him up, yada yada. I was going on surprise, but like
Buff, go ahead and pan up to the picture right behind your head.
He's stupid. Yeah,
But
man, it would have been cool to meet Michelle. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he asked me to do it on it, visual audience. But, you know, I had him for his second inauguration. I had their holding room. And so, you know, they just came out and got ready to walk out on the stage. It's not like she said, hey, Byron, what's going on? You know, he don't know me. So it would have been cool. It would have been cool to meet her. I like her so much. I even went to like when her Becoming book was out. She did like different stops where she sat and was interviewed, and you could go to see her in the audience. I actually went to that up here in DC to see her. So,
And
and
after her book came out, like, I really became a fan. I think that's what just solidified it. It's yeah, 'cause she's
also, I don't know if I would fanboy over Halle Berry. I appreciate the work she's done, but the first thing I bring up to her is I'm impressed with how y'all ever seen the Hot Ones challenge with that,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bro. She manned up on them joints.
Right.
Like I just want to tell her how much I really appreciated that.
Yeah,
But yeah, for men, man, it's just hard for us to like really allow ourselves
yeah.
to like
Hmm. Hmm.
obviously I would love to meet Lamar Jackson, but I can't be like, oh my God, it's Lamar Jackson. I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
The
that's
most I can do is like, so
Can you imagine what Sherman would say?
see,
You do
right? Oh,
that?
because he might do it. He likes Lamar too. He might do it. Like the
yeah, I
most I
can't
can,
think of
most I can just be like, that's it. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
because, like, to me, and that's when you look at Lamar and even, like, a Jordan or LeBron, like, I would definitely enjoy it. I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's something about certain people's aura. Like, it's something they bring, and I think that's why the Michelle and the Stevies do that for me, right? It's just like to be in his presence and just like maybe he won't see me, but to be in his presence is something about that energy. It's like, dude, you this is different. Like people talk about Erica Badu that way. Like she has an aura about herself, or 3,000, like three stacks. Like there's something about the way they move that you can feel the energy, and it's kind of feel like those are the type people. But before we turn into a question, let's keep it going.
The only other thing I got is I'm reading this book. I'm also reading our book. I always have to say that.
I've been slacking.
But I'm reading this book for my book club called The State of Affairs, Rethinking Infidelity. And if you follow me on social media, I've posted like some of the quotes from the book on my stories. But man, it's just really cool to see. Maybe cool is a bad word because we're talking about cheating, but it definitely looks at infidelity from every single angle, from the point of view of the person that's being cheated on, the person that's doing the cheating, the person that allowed themselves to become the person that allowed the person to cheat with them, with just all type of things. But what I found really interesting is how diverse infidelity can be couple to couple. What you and Z's definition of cheating may not be me and Tav's. What me and Tav's definition of cheating may not be Rozzy and Leah's. And like people will say, well, if you're going to cheat, why not just have an open marriage or open relationship? People cheat in those. There are literally instances where we have an understanding. You can sleep with whoever you want. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. Or sometimes don't let me know. But the ones that are like, just let me know, whatever, they still cheat.
And
They wind up sleeping with somebody and they want to keep that one a secret.
or don't catch feelings.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
I've had that
happens.
on.
There'll be little
Yeah.
stuff like, oh, you can't cheat in the city, right? You go on your guys' trips, cool. I don't want to hear about it, but if you're in the city, you gotta, be faithful.
Yeah.
And then they still end up stepping out in the city. Like
There's
my guy.
there's one couple, they're professional dancers. They've toured every continent in the world. And they was like, look, because of this long distance, because of whatever, we can't be monogamous. The only thing we ask is that you don't sleep with another dancer because it's a very small world. And I don't want to be out to dinner and everybody knows that you're banging this guy that's sitting next to me and I don't know it, blah, blah, blah. What does she do? She sleeps with the one guy that's like his true rival. Any job he doesn't get that he felt like he should have got is gone to that guy. So he's like, he even used him as an example when they went over the rules. Like, it's almost like me telling Tab, like, look, we can have an open marriage, but make sure you don't sleep with Ferg. And what's the one person she do? She sleeps with Ferg. You know what I'm saying? It's like there is no one, like, you could say have an open marriage, you could say this, that, and other. At the end of the day, if someone wants to cheat, they will find a way to do it. And it's just been an interesting read, man. So if you're looking for a book, check it out. It's called State of Affairs: Rethinking Infidelity.
Cheating's bad.
Yes, we
Okay.
have an
Yeah.
episode called that too, folks. Cheating is bad, along with looting as well.
Yep. Yep. Looting is bad.
I don't have much, man. I just want to recap. I just had a really good week. I want to thank Rozzy from making that trip. Him and Leah and the fam for making that trip to Atlanta this past week. We got a chance to see a lot of people, and it's just good to let the kids get out and see their family and friends and their god brothers, god sisters, and godparents. It was just a great time. So thank you to Rozzy and Action and Lenny and Alexis and I guess Porche and all that stuff. But people really showed out, and we had a blast. My kids love it. They love Atlanta. It was just fun the whole weekend. And so I make that trip again soon. Just flying, can never drive. I don't see how people drive that far. Uh,
What is
and
it?
just
12 hours? 13 hours?
I don't even know. It's got to be that plus some. How
Because
about
I think it's 10 for here, to Houston. So it has to be at least, yeah, 12, 13 easily.
yeah? And then
So
that's not including stops and all that.
yeah,
Let's just get into the show. I got stuff I'll talk about later, but let's get into the show. Do we have another question, or we want to go with what we were kind of talking about?
we can just, yeah, let's go with what we were talking about. I think it ties into what Buff's talking about with the infidelity piece too.
Okay, okay. So how do we want to frame the question then, fellas? Because we don't have to give a background, just because I think that'll be best. But the premise comes from like, I am who I am. Just let me be me. Is that a cop out? Do you think that is the best way about going things? Is there a middle ground, or do you do people need to change? Like, how
For
does
their
that work?
relationships, right?
For the
Like
it's just
for
in
yeah,
general, and
yeah.
just in general, like, you know, I often hear people say, "Well, just love me for who I am. You got to love me for me," and it's like, well, you are a piece of shit. Like, really, and but it's. I'll give. I'll let you guys go. You get the gist. So, because I have my thoughts.
You you shouldn't change for anyone. Now you can tweak and alter certain behaviors, but I think when you enter a relationship, you enter with knowing as much as you possibly can know about that person, and you accept them for who they are. You shouldn't enter a relationship saying, "You know what? I'm gonna enter a relationship with this person, and I'm gonna try to make sure I change A and B about them." No, you need to enter that relationship with the person and say, "I like him for who he is. I like her for who she is." And as things come up, you can have that discussion of, "Hey, you're a great person, but if you could, I don't really like when you do this or do that. Could you work on that?" And then if you mean enough to that person, they will work on it and hopefully eventually, I guess alleviate that behavior or whatever. But to just ask someone to just change, I don't know if that's a good I don't know if that's a good recipe. I don't know if
But
you should have to change. Go ahead.
my question, I mean, my response to that, because I want you to keep thinking. I think a lot of times when we enter relationships, we always say people show up as the representative.
Mhm.
We don't see their true self. I mean, we've all been married, we've dated, and that person we start date is not the same person we end up with. Like, it's so
And,
Well,
and people and people
and vice
grow and
versa.
evolve throughout
well,
the
Yeah.
years, right? So it's
yeah.
not just that too. So yeah.
So famous Chris Rock joke, by the way. But I think when someone is showing you their representative or their representation of themselves, it's just showing you, okay, when we're dating, every time you come over the house, she makes sure she cleans and everything is ready. But, once y'all enter that relationship and y'all are together every day, she may not clean every time you come home from work. Maybe just on the weekends. You know what I mean? So your representative is just your best version of yourself, but it shouldn't be a 180. If it's a 180, then you wasn't being yourself. You can be yourself. Nobody's going to be the best version of themselves every single day. So I think and a reasonable adult person should know when they enter a relationship. That's why we call it the honeymoon phase. It's not going to be like that every day. And so some things are going to be changed or whatnot, but it shouldn't be a complete 180.
Yeah, and I agree. I think there's things that you might not necessarily change yourself, but the way you interact, you want to show up for your partner, right? How
Yeah.
they want you to show up. And so there are going to be things that you don't want to do, but you do them just because your partner loves it, right? And I think it's the same thing when you talk about personalities, how you act, and everything like that. It's like my partner wants this, my partner wants me to be like this, so I'm gonna try, right? And I don't think on a deep down level you should be you're changing yourself or your personality, but there are things. Hey, I don't pick up my socks, at the end of the day. But my partner, that really, really irks them. So I'm really gonna try to pick up my socks, right? Or, I'm a shower in the morning person, but my partner's like, no, you can't shower in the morning because you can't get in my bed dirty, right? Like I think there are activities, there's actions, there's things that people sometimes say, oh well, it's just me. This is me, and so you got to take me for how I am. Where it's like you can adjust those things. And so I think it just really depends on what it is. Is it really changing you at the core as a person? Or is it just that, you formed habits and you need to break those habits? And so
What
maybe
makes you
that's what it is.
so where do you draw the line though? What makes you say you need to break those habits? Because
I think it's different for every person and it's where that line is for you. Some people are like, no, I want to I don't feel clean taking a shower at night. I want to take it in the morning, right? And it's like I'm not changing it. Like I'm going to shower in the morning. I'm not taking 2 showers every day, whatever. Like if that is what that person really deeply feels, then that might be something that's their line, and we're like, I can't do that. So I think it's different for every person where that line is, what you want to do, what you want to change. But ultimately, you should be willing to change for your partner. And I think another thing is how long you've been together, right? Like I'm not changing this for I don't know, we've been together for 3 months, but maybe we're together 2 years and maybe I'll change by then, right? Like I love you enough. I love you to the point where I see this irks you really, really bad. Maybe it's I've heard about it so many times that okay, it really irks you and I want to change. So I think that's the other part about it is it's they have to accept you for where you are. Like Buff said, they don't need to come in and say, I want to change this person. I'm going to change this person. They need to accept or be able to say, if this doesn't change, can I stay in this relationship or not? And if they don't feel like they can stay in that relationship, if that doesn't change, they need to leave. Right. And I think that's where we probably it's that pig headedness of it all. It's like, can you accept me for me being me? If not, you can keep saying, hey, I don't like this, whatever. But if I don't change, like you chose to stay based on that.
and I agree to a certain extent. And I think but you kind of said, hey, they keep saying it, and it because it irks them, and you finally change because they've said it 1,000 times. But what if them saying it 1,000 times irks you? It's like,
Then you
hey,
have to decide. You have to decide: is this bad enough for me to leave or not? Like, right?
and
Like,
so what you said that person needs to change because they kept saying it. Like in the same token, hey, you've said it 1,000 times. I'm telling you that annoys the hell out of me every time you mention that or you do this. Shut the hell up. Like
And
at what point does And I think that there's no right or wrong answer. So anything else y'all want to say on that?
I,
I was
I
gonna
just
say, I just
okay.
think anytime someone asks you to change that you're in a relationship with, two people have a decision to make. The person that's being asked, you have a decision to make. Do I want to change? Do I want to do what this person is asking me to? Or am I like Rising said at the beginning, nah, that's me. And I'm not changing. And if you can't get with that, then I'm out. And
Because
the
I think
person
both
that's
of you
asking, yeah, I was gonna say, and the person that's asking they have to decide, okay, I've asked them to change. If they don't, is it big enough to where I walk away, or can I deal with it and stay?
because I think both of you made very valid points. And think we hear that argument because I think Buff, I think you started like you shouldn't change for anybody. I think you kind of just said it, and then Roger's like, "Nah, you
Not
should change."
that you shouldn't, but you don't have to.
Okay, and so it's a couple of things.
Because I just want to say, like, the thing is, relationships are give and take. And I am loving this LMA, this new song 100 by LMA. If you have not heard that song, go out, check it out right now, right after this. I will pause for a second in this show to let you go listen to it. Like LMA breaks it down so well because she's like, if I'm 60, you're 40, we make it to 100. If I'm 80, you're 20. If you're 80, I'm 20. If we're 40, like whatever it is at any given moment, we are 100. And I think that's like what relationships are. It's that give and take. It's like, hey, this is me, but you don't like that. So I'm going to give, I'm going to bend, I'm going to flex. I don't like this about you. You're gonna bend. You're gonna flex. I'm gonna come off of what I don't like a little bit, right? So we meet somewhere in the middle. I think that's the part of a relationship that people like go into a relationship and don't want to give. Like, they want to be like, it's my way or no way. It's a 0 to or 100, and that's it. And that's not any type of relationship. That's not a work relationship. That's not a work negotiation. That's not a customer like nothing
Even a business
in
partner, right? It's
business
just
partners, everything. Like you have to bend and flex, right? When you have to say, well, I like this logo, you like this logo. Can we meet in the middle? Can I give up that logo, but you're good with the motto, right? Or something like that. Like even in a business agreement or a business situation, there's give and take. So when I say relationship, I'm not just talking about a romantic relationship. I think any relationship you have to be able to bend, flex, give, and take, right? As parents, we have relationships with our kids where we think everything's the right way, but the kids, you gotta give them what they need. Each kid may get something different from you because of what they need, what they like, what they expect. So I think any relationship that you look at, you've got to be able to kind of bend or flex from it.
what do you think is at the heart of people not wanting to change or allow people to be themselves? Because one person's gonna have to change. Either you change what you accept or you change the other person changes what they do, right? So what do you think is at the heart of that? Why is that so hard for each
Change is
person?
hard in general. Change is hard. I mean, and the older and more longer you've been doing it, the more ingrained you are with whatever that is, right? That personality trait, that habit, whatever you do, how you eat. You know, I wash my face before I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth before. You got a routine. And breaking that routine, breaking that habit, breaking what you do is difficult for anybody. And then there are certain people that just don't like change in general. Like Ali is one day, he's like, I don't care if this thing is broken or whatever, I still want it. He has some headphones right now that literally every time he puts it on his head, he has like little flakes and stuff in his hair because it peels and he still will not get like a new one. I bought him new ones and he still uses the old one. Like Ollie wants to keep everything the same. And so there are people like that that's just gonna push back on change no matter what. I've got a couple of employees like that. That is like, well, here's we introduce some change and they like lose their because it's change happening. So
What do you think, Buff?
Change is hard when you're not the one that wants to do it. It's
mhm,
just like, I mean, to a more serious extent, it's just like sobriety or any type of addiction. Like you have to want it first. You see drug addicts, they are willing to lose their home, everyone that loves them, everything just to chase that high. And they can't get off of it until they hit what they say that rock bottom and they want to change. And to bring it back to what we're talking about, a lot of times, just with us, if we don't want to make that change, it's extremely difficult to do it for someone else.
yeah. And that's why I say, that person might have to say it multiple times to where you're like, I want to change. Whether it is because it finally clicked and it's like, I see why they want me to change, or it's like, you know what, I love them enough that I'm going to change for them, whatever it is. But you got to internally say, I want to change to be able to make that change.
And you gotta make sure if you make that change, you're still gonna be okay. Don't make the change if you're ultimately gonna be unhappy. You know what I mean? Like, I made this change, but now I'm miserable.
Give me a habit, because I'm going somewhere with this. That it could be something very simple. That, let's say your mom taught you how to do it, and in your mind, this is the
Right,
right
the
way
right
to
way
do it.
to do it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you did it any other way, like, what the hell? Do you have an example? Like you brought up, like, washing your face and brushing your teeth, or like, is there something that you just like that is just like, yeah, nigga, anybody that does anything different, that doesn't make sense.
I see a constant argument on social media about some people who put the ketchup in the refrigerator and some people who say it should be left
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
should be
So
left
it
out
can
though.
be
It
so
yeah.
should be left out.
Now,
It should
now
be.
think of getting in a relationship and one of y'all is inside the refrigerator, and one of y'all is an outside the refrigerator
Yeah.
person. Yeah, that's a good one. I think another one is double folding or triple folding your towels.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Because Portia and I had that conversation.
triple.
She's like, I had to. He fold the towels wrong. Are they folded? Do they fit where they need to go?
it's a
You
triple
know,
fold, right?
There you go. It's triple.
you're just lucky they're folded. Because I'm not at. And so the reason I brought that up is, I think a lot of things, as simple as they can be, there is a unspoken connection to those habits. It's not even that it's just hard. It's not harder to fold it twice than three times. I think sometimes when I'm changing or I'm changing for somebody else, you're telling me and I'm accepting that I'm wrong. So the way my mama taught me how to fold towels is wrong. Your mama is just the queen of fucking towel folding, right? Just because she wants to do it twice, all of a sudden we're arguing about this. No, it's three times. Either take it or leave it, or I won't fold any towels, right? You want it so bad, you fold the towels. And it's um when I went to premarital counseling, one of the things they told us is 99.9% of arguments in couples are just selfish opinions. It's just your way of looking at it. And if I let you win this, that proves that I'm wrong. That could prove that I'm wrong. My mom was wrong. The way the Fergusons cook gumbo is wrong. You can put this in gumbo, you can't put that in gumbo. Like, people argue over the dumbest
Hmm.
things because there's an attachment to these things, and any change could possibly mean that I'm wrong, and five generations of Ferguson's been making gumbo for the last 112 years are wrong, and all of a sudden your family right. So your family better than mine, right? Like, it's those things. And I
And
think in
it's so
relationships,
hard. It's so hard when you taste the other person. Like your mama been cooking something, you taste somebody else stuff, you be like, "This is delicious. What has my mama been doing?" Like,
yeah, I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. But
your problem's the opposite, right? It's
yeah,
like,
like,
yeah.
what is this? But so I see that, because I think, Buff, that was you that brought up, or maybe it was Razi. It's like, you can't be the best version of yourself every day.
Yeah, that was Buff. Yeah.
But what if that's the goal? Shouldn't that be the goal? Like, I literally try to be the best version of myself for
It could be
me
the
and my
goal.
wife and my family every day, because we brought up the cleaning thing, right? If I meet this young lady and she's clean, I'm like, man, that's how I want my house kept. Like, I need somebody to keep me in order and all this stuff. And that's something that I didn't even know I valued like that, right? That is part of the reason I'm attracted to you, right? And then all of a sudden, well, I ain't your mama. You gotta be like, my mama, my mom's house was immaculate at all times. We self-diagnosed my mom with OCD. And so when I see this, and you showed me this, and I fell in love with this, and then you take it away, and then you fault me for wanting this, you know, did you change? And there was another post I saw, or it might have been a video, and it was saying, it started with ladies, but they talked about men as well. It's, people get into arguments or have these problems in marriage because they show up with a representative. it started with a lady saying she's tired of putting on this mask or this face, you know, to get these men. And then she has to keep it up when they get together and they're together long and that stuff falls off. She's like, it's just draining. And she said, why not just be you? I think most people, she said, most people are scared of the people they can truly attract. Right? If
And that's
you're
when you need to change. What about
if this is who you are, if you are I don't like dressing up all the time. Because she was talking about women dressing. I'm like, I gotta dress and look nice, like, but if that's who you sold, then just be your natural self. There's men out here that like natural women. So if this is who you are, your regular self, and attract a dude who's a 6 or 7, your dressed up fake self gets an 8 or a 9, but then you get mad at him when you default back to your 6 or 7 and he wants an 8 or 9 or vice versa. Fellas, you're whining and dining and all this stuff. And now, oh man, all she wants me to, this is who you presented. You find a woman who's okay with going to Waffle House one day and Steak and Shake for lunch, and then maybe Cheesecake Factory. If that's what you default to, but you were taking it to
Ruth
some
Chris
5-star,
and
five star restaurant. I don't even know if Ruth Chris is still on the list anymore. Anything
Probably
that has
not.
that's a chain is not on the list anymore. But if that's who you presented yourself as, fellas, right? Then and your wife or your lady still wants that, maybe you're not the type dude that needs a Ruth Chris chick, right? And it's that. And so I think you should, and Z and I had a really deep conversation about this a few weeks ago. I think so many times we have, and I talked to my landlines about something serious, similar to this, is we create expectations for people. Think we do it in relationships. We do it as parents. I think all of us, we have kids. In your mind, you have an idea of how you want your kids' lives to unfold. And there's a good chance they're not going to be that person. It's a really good chance they're not going to be that person. And you keep readjusting that, We all want our daughters to be freaking Michelle, right? Like if she could grow up to be a Michelle Obama, that's great. She's probably not going to be. I don't think there's many fathers who's like, my daughter's going to be a stripper. Like there's strippers. The strippers, their parents didn't expect them to be strippers or want them to be strippers. D-boys, all that stuff, for the most part. You never know. But
Let Ali Sadiq tell it.
yeah, but at the same time, I say we have these expectations that have nothing to do with the person. Risey, you and I go back and forth with this all the time. You know who you married, you know who you dated. So anytime you bring something, like that's almost our default, like, well, bruh, you know who you're with, right? Like that's who she is. We've been saying that for years, but you want them to be something different. And so I challenge people to push themselves to be the best versions of themselves and encourage whoever you're with to be the best version of themselves, right? It's because some things you're going to grow. If they have a nasty attitude, it's like they might always have a temper. Can they learn how to get better? Like she might, I'm saying this, but let's say Tab has it. When Tab gets up, Tab's gone. But she's learned how to control it a little more. Hypothetically, Tab, we know you're great. No temper. But that temper may never leave, but she's learned how to get better at toning it down, right?
And that's what we talk about with change, right? It's like that's the change I think that is should happen in your relationship, right? It's like I am moving closer to that ideal person that I want to present to you, and I think that's what drives people to actually want to change. Is right. It's like the ideal person, the person that I show to you, I want to be my representative, right, and become my representative. So all those things that I get, you're saying, oh well, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. It's like I can change those. I should change those, but you have to want it, and you should be getting closer to it as you go.
But also,
There's some things like you said that it's like it's too exhausting to be that representative. Oh, this is me. Like I can't get there, right? Like I'm that 6'7" you talked about, right? I don't want to dress up as a girl or a woman. I don't want to put on a full face of makeup every day. My nigga, you got to get used to this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but am I wrong for wanting the 8'9"? That's who you showed me. So I didn't know
You're
the
not
six.
wrong,
I
but
didn't know the
that
six
like I
seven.
said, that's the thing. That's the thing where that you have to make that decision. It's like it's too exhausting to get there, right? Like I tried it.
You did
I'll
it for
do
two
it every once in a
years,
while,
and
but
all of a sudden, you now that you got me, you gave up.
yeah,
You gave
yeah.
up.
But but I also think that sometimes it's like we talked about life and especially with women, right? I did that for 2 years when we were just getting together before I had kids, right? And so now I got kids and I'm up in the morning, I'm getting them dressed and I'm getting them off to school and now this and so now I can't put that I don't have the time to put that face on and get all
Okay, Waffle
cute
House.
and everything like that. So
That the 6'7" looks like this is a Waffle House move. This
uh
is a Waffle House date.
yeah,
Don't give me a 6'7" and you want to go to Ruth Chris or
yeah,
wherever the fancy restaurants Byron be going to. Give me throw out some names for us, Buff, that we don't know about.
Y'all know about them. Eddie V's,
Shay Whitey,
yeah, Mastro's.
Nobu,
yeah, but
Noble. Yeah, Noble. Overrated, by the way.
Hell's
but that
Kitchen and all those.
and I
I don't
think
like
it's
Hell's Kitchen.
one of those things. I think people have to have those realizations. Like people change, but it's okay to change because I've heard, well, girl, if he love you, he gonna love you the way you are,
Mm.
you know, right? But at the same time, let's be honest. We've heard the reverse. Where it's saying, "Hey, girl, when he get married, he gonna change, settle down, yada 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 yada."
And
It's
And
and
that, yeah,
I don't know if we touched on this enough because Rozzy mentioned sometimes you evolve. Now that I
could
think
be
that's a different beast too. You get together, especially if you get together when you're young. Because we talked about this
that's true.
concerning friends.
Yeah,
So you do expect a reasonable amount of growth and maturity in your significant other, some type of evolution in them.
yeah. And the
but it
other
could
thing
be
I think is the flip side of that is I think some people want to change and be that perfect person when the spouse doesn't want it. Like I tell Leo all the time, I'm like, I love your perfect imperfections. Like, the whole John Legend thing. It's like the things that she's like self-conscious about and everything like that. I'm like, I love those things. Like those quirks about you is really what kind of drew me in and keep me interested, right? Like I really like those things about her and she may be self-conscious about it. So for me, it's like I enjoy that. Like I joke on myself about, oh, I'm this and I'm that and everything. Like, oh, I'm just a simple man and this and another. It's like I know I got some things going for me, but at the same time, it's like, I'm gonna humble myself a little bit to do that. So it's make sure that you're not trying to change and put on that mask and exhaust yourself trying to be this person that your spouse is or significant other is that's not what they want, right? That's they're not pushing you to be that. You've set that expectation on yourself. Ferg, you talked about it, right? Like you set a lot of expectations on yourself that your parents probably didn't put on you. That pressure wasn't them putting it on you. You put it on yourself, thinking that's what they wanted for you. And I think a lot of times in relationships that happens too, where people are putting that expectation on, where the significant other isn't putting that on.
yeah, and I think we talked about. I'm glad you brought that back up. Evolution, and or evolving. We'll use that word, but I think it goes two ways. Like you're hoping it's for the positive, but like, hey, this person has always had a little temper, right? Now that you got older, been married for a couple of years, the kids going now that person has a bad
Yeah,
temper.
yeah, because they
Well,
got
you
more
always know I had a
stressors.
temper, but like, nah, it wasn't like this. Well, you always
Hmm.
know, and now you're fighting every day, and they're justifying they always had a temper, but it's like, hey, it wasn't this bad. We didn't argue like this, you know, and it's well, I'm not changing. Well, of course, and we said it several times. Well, that's when you make a decision to leave, but
That's not an easy decision. I think
yeah,
that's the other part. We make it sound simple. Oh, just leave if you can't accept it, but it may take you 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years to make that decision to leave because you're like either hoping that they're gonna get better, hoping that it's gonna change, or the situation just isn't right. Hey, my kids are 10, 11 years old. I don't really want to break up the home right now, yada, yada, yada. I'll wait till they're 18. You see a lot of those. Like that when the kids turn 18, that is the like number one time that divorces happen in relationships. It's because a lot of people just grit it and like just grit their teeth through 16, 17, 18, even though the kids see it, right? They see the marriage, the relationship
The
just
distance, yeah.
crumbling. And sometimes it's like, even if you think that the situation is better with y'all together, sometimes it's better for those kids for y'all to be apart, even though, they're 12, 13, 14 years old, because just seeing y'all argue, mad at each other all the time, just doesn't work, right? I'd rather my kids see us separated and happy than us together, and just because we're in the same house together, and we're just miserable, and
And I
and
think
that,
that's easier to
taking that
say
on
than do
them.
too, because we always say it's better for the kids. Is it? We don't know, right? I remember my parents split up when I was like 13, 14, and that forced a and I don't know what the life would have been if they wouldn't have, right?
Hmm.
That was a gut punch, man.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get over that. It took me like my that was the beginning of my independence. That was the beginning of me putting up a wall and sheltering myself and shielding myself from people who could potentially hurt me. I talk about that in therapy, right? It's like, is this a defense mechanism? Probably so. You ready to let it down? No, it's got me this far, right? Like it is. And so I think there's so much to unpack about changing, and I think that's when changing when not to change and understanding why are you holding on to this, you know, this ketchup in the fridge or folding the towel so deeply, you know?
You asked a question that doesn't have a perfect answer, to be
I don't think
honest.
it is.
Right.
Yeah, like
I
it
think I think you have to have the conversation about change. I think this is the healthy thing. I always tell people, especially newly married people or thinking about getting married, like have the conversations about things before they become an issue. It's uh, we had a we had the perfect question. There was no right or wrong answer at premarital counseling. It was you're married 5 years and stuff like that. Your mother needs to move in the house. Your wife doesn't get along because she's sick. Your mother doesn't get along. Your wife and your mother, not necessarily they don't get along, but it was infringing on her space. It just she wasn't a fan of your mother moving in. What do you do? And it was one of and it was like, well, that's my mama. And it was like, it was just headbutts. Like it was just and just trying to see how they figured that out. And it's nobody really sat down and they were defending their stance versus saying, okay, this is my wife's house. She has the right to feel how she feels. And my job is to protect my wife by all means. And so, do we need to go to therapy? Do we need to figure something out? I had to let my mom know, like, hey, this, and this. Hey, this is my husband's mother. I mean, he's not a mama's boy, but I know how he feels about his mother. And as type man I married is always going to help those in need like that. It was none of that. Like you're so hell bent. This is my house and your mama don't respect me. And last Thanksgiving, she commented on my turkey and yada, yada, yada. And you never like my mama. No goddamn, like that. It's that. And do we sit back and say, hey, who cares about the towels? Who cares about the ketchup? We make enough money. We buy Coke. You want
You want the code? We
yeah,
gonna have a
we got 2
refrigerator one
ketchups,
and
right? It's do we think about those things? It's your way, my way, and our way, you know, and we've gotten to the point where you hear people talk about, keeping score and all that stuff. And so I gotta win this one. I'm 0-4 right now. So I'm about to win an argument. And my wife probably gets I'm exhausting because I talk through everything. And she'd be like, just nigga, whatever. But no, it's like I want us to be on the same page. I want us to talk through it and understand how we got here, what the true root of it is, not just, this person moving, this person, like what's going on. And it's helpful, I think we
yeah,
have to learn
I
how to have
love
the
I love what you said with the it's your way, my way, and our way, right? Like that's that compromise we always talk about, right? It's what is going to be our way.
yeah,
And people are gonna have to give up some things, and that's super difficult for them to do.
yeah,
There is like, what are you giving up? And maybe that's where that score comes from. Oh, I gave up this, so you need to give up that type thing. If I feel like I'm always giving up everything and you're never giving up anything, then there's gonna be some animosity there, and you know that people start feeling used. And so
Yeah.
there's going to be a little bit of scorekeeping, and internally you need to do a little bit of that too to make sure that you're being fair to your significant other and be like, okay, you gave up this, this, and this, I'll give up this, and that type of thing. So
But also, I think it's an internal check. Like, is are you losing, quote unquote, losing because you could be making bad decisions. Like you might not have the best way of doing things. You come from a certain background, and some of the things you've been taught might not be beneficial to where you're trying to go. Like if we're trying to go here, this is the route. So we had to move. We had to get a new job. You had to do this. We had to do this. I'm always changing for you. No, we're changing for the family. So I try, and I'm not perfect. This is, like I said, I try to be the best version of myself every day. Uh, and that's at least the goal. You know, I fall short of being the best version of me every day at the same time. But we go by Team Ferg. Like it's almost a running joke. Like, oh, here comes Team Ferg, and we go by that because the way we try to approach our marriage is we're a team. So look at football because we all love football here. If I'm the offense and you're the defense, I could have the best game of my life, put up 59 points, best game. Defense let them put up 60. We lost. We still lost. Me telling them that we lost because it don't matter. It's an L, right? And if they hold a team to 3 points and I don't score, we lost. And so that's my thing is how do we win as a team? What is our goal? Is our goal to get more W's than L's? That should always be the goal as a team. The defense can't like, dog, we shouldn't people, we ain't nobody scoring more than 10 points on us. Well, great, but y'all still lost 5 games in a row, right? Your offense can't score.
mhm.
We remember Baltimore back in the day. Like, that was the thing. Like, their offense couldn't score. It was very touchy. We saw the Texans this year. Number 1 defense in the league. One of the best defenses I've seen in a while. None of that mattered. People kept talking about the defense but the team lost. The team was scared. The coaching, everybody's like, how long can the defense keep this up? How long can Buff keep carrying this team? And I'll carry it as long as I can. But at the end of the day, we still lost. You threw what that the last game they won? How many picks? How many turnovers did Stroud had? Like 4? They won the game. Like they won the game. You threw 4, yeah, 4 turnovers, but we won the game. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
And so we go by that. I try to live by that mantra, like team for what do we need to do to win? And so if they score 30, I got to score 31. Is it fair? It's not always fair. So
I bet.
I had fun with that question, fellas.
Yeah, let's go.
I was just using it as a example. I don't want no smoke.
Yeah. One thing I'll add on there before we close out though is no anonymous giving. We say that in sales all the time, but you know, when you make those concessions, when you make those changes and everything, have that conversation about, hey, I'm doing this change, I'm giving you this. Because Ferg, we always talk about the whole 95% of stuff I don't even care about. You can make every decision in the world, but the 5% I do care about, I'm going to put my foot down. It's like, hey, here it is. But if you never tell them I'm making this concession, hey, you got it, you got it, you got it feels like every time you put your foot down, it's like you never let me do anything, or you always tell me what we got to do. So you got to have those conversations about what you're giving up sometimes too.
That's not gonna stop. That's human nature. Is it always or never?
Folks love that one, huh?
Yeah, it's always or never. And I try to catch myself when we have our heated discussions. But somehow those words come out every time. And then you get even more offended because now you're trying to prove your point that you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not that, but to this day, when I talk about not being wrong, I think our biggest argument or biggest situation that I had to overcome, the biggest pushback I ever gave in our marriage was, and this is Buff and Tab, I have to thank for them. And it was me not wanting to disassociate with one of my exes because we were platonic friends at this point. And I'm one of those like, if I wanted to be with her, I'll be with her. I'm a good guy. I'm the type in my world, mine, I'm looking like I'm the type guy that can still be cool with his exes and they value his opinion and all this stuff. That speaks more about me, right? Like, hey, that's how I saw it. And Z saw it completely different. So it's like, nah, she need to find her own dude to confide in or do whatever, yada, 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 yada. And I don't even know all her points because I just wasn't listening, right? But one thing that Buff and Tab, more so Tab, brought up, and it made me think, what do you get out of being friends with her? Like, what is the best case scenario? You're holding fast to this argument or this not changing. What is my wife is pissed off, yada yada, but cold ketchup. It's like you argue about this, you argue about that. There's nothing that I can say like, okay, you get to remain friends with her, but your wife is miserable. So tell me about what you won outside of I get to stay friends with her and I can check a box out of winning this argument. And that's what made me sit and think. It's like there's nothing good enough that can come out of that because I know what the L looks like. And I don't even think we were married at the time. My fiance, my future wife, feels like I'm not willing to make a sacrifice another woman for her. Right? I'm choosing this other woman or to be friends with this other woman for her over her happiness and her security or whatever she needed. And I feel like, and I've said it several times, I don't necessarily agree with that I should have had to give that up, but I know she needed that more than I needed to be friends with this person because there was nothing good that could come from that or that was worth it outside of saying, well, I am who I am. You should be happy that you got a dude like me that can do this and being able to brag about being that type person. But at the same time, this woman is asking for something and I'm not willing to give it to her because I'm trying to prove that I'm the type person that would try to prove that I'm the type person I'm not being right now.
You know what
You
Right.
just
else
want to be right.
usually happens too? Like, say you had a
She
stay
gonna get a
10
nigga.
toes.
He gonna make her
Yeah,
stop. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was holding on to not wanting to lose that argument and not wanting to lose who I was. It's like you're trying to change me. 'Cause, I've had a lot of female friends, right? And so even when we were growing up, I had female friends. I was cool with the Itara and a Waikisha and Tisha and all these other, and and so I've always had female friends. And then college, same things. Or even people after when I dated, I was after I did my cleanse, my purge, I end up circling back and being cool with every girl I ever dated. And so to me, this was just the same thing I've always done. I didn't care about that had nothing to do with me. But you're right. That's exactly what happened. She probably got a dude and never spoke to me again. And now I done lost my wife and and all this stuff. But I say that because I think that was a good example of wanting to be right to prove who you are, or wanting to be right to prove that you're not wrong. And that really wasn't like, why are you fighting so hard to hold on to this? Right. And so, but we don't want, a lot of times we don't want to lose ourselves either, as much as every argument we win, we feel like we keep more of ourselves.
Like that one.
Let's go ahead and close it up.
Um, Two things. Target boycott is not over, people.
They
Even
said it's
though,
over.
yeah, it was crazy. One person comes out and says the boycott's over, and then all the media places were like, "It's over, it's over, it's over." Boycott's over, and everybody's like, "He didn't even say." I can't even remember the dude's name, the minister or whatever.
Jamal Bryant.
Jamal Bryant, yeah, comes out, says, "Oh, it's over," and then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "He didn't even start the boycott." That's the crazy part about it. He didn't start it, but he's gonna be the one that's like, "Oh, yep, it's good." But I will say this though about that: people, we have to have a goal. You don't boycott just to boycott. It has to be, what are you asking for? What are we trying to get to? And I made a post about it right after he came out and said it was over. I was like, we need a loud ally, not a quiet supporter, right? And so I think what Target tried to do is play both sides. They tried to say, yeah, we're cutting DEI to make, the Trump administration, everybody happy, but then keep all of the programs that they were doing in place. They just cut the DEI department or whatever. And I've seen that from schools. I talk about our scholarships at UAB, and where they try to we tried to work around the law, right? We were like, okay, well, we'll change this, and so we won't say minority, we'll say improves the like diversity of the school or whatever. We won't actually say black, we'll say minority, you know, and we did what we could to try to make it work, and then it still didn't work. And so now I'm to the point where it's on some Black Panther where it's like, I need that loud ally. I need you to say, no, we are doing the like Costco did, and so that's why I'm all on Costco, not on Sam's because of that, right? Like I'm supporting who is actually going to be a loud ally to me, and not just a quiet supporter of what we do. So that's all I got, man. Just wanted to throw it out there. Oh no, I did have one more thing. Wanted to shout out to Sherrod. What's his name? Sherrod Moore. So all charges were dropped against him. If you guys don't know, he was Michigan's football head coach. They terminated him after it came out that he was supposed to be stalking and having inappropriate relationships. But come to find out, it was a consensual relationship. He broke up with her, and then she just went crazy. So I shout out to him for fighting it, holding to his guns, getting it tossed out. Hopefully he can get a job because he won't get the Michigan job back. But hopefully, he can either countersue something, get some money out of it. But she kind of ruined his life off of this. So, hopefully we can find a happy way forward for him.
She ain't got no money.
I just want to talk to the black men. Take care of yourselves, man. Take care of yourselves in all phases. We talked about this a few weeks ago with the Kev on stage tweet. Still a lot of ignorance out there among my fellow brothers when it comes to getting checked up, going to the doctor and all that stuff. But most of our listeners are around our age, at that age where it's time to get a colonoscopy. You should be getting a physical at least once a year. You should be getting your prostate checked. You should be going to the dentist. Going to the dentist is more than just having clean breath. Okay? It's way more than that. It's more than just not having cavities. Okay? If you have enough plaque, that can clog up your arteries. We're dying too early, too young. And I want to see a lot more of us live into our 90s. I want to see us play with our grandkids and possibly even great grandkids. Take care of yourself. Like all the other things that take us out, with suicide, with homicide. If we're blessed enough to avoid that, do your part. Take care of yourself, and that includes going to therapy. We're dealing with a lot of man. We're carrying a lot of. I always see these posts where a man is only loved for how much he can provide or whatever the post says. If you know you're dealing with all kind of man, you need somebody that you can talk to. You need somebody that you can release and come clean with and be honest with it and let them help you navigate. Therapy isn't a magic pill, but it definitely it's a playbook. We've been talking about football this year. It's a playbook. Okay. Every team, if I'm not mistaken, every team has like a first 10 plays that they're gonna run in a game. And then after that, they'll adjust depending on how the game goes. And that's what therapy is, man. It gives you a playbook. You have those first 10 plays. Of course, life be lifing. When life come at you, then you'll have the tools you need to adjust because of therapy and because of just talking to other people that may go to therapy. It's just on my heart to just talk to us, man. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's live. Let's live, brother. Let's be there for our family. So I wanted to say that. I also wanted to say, make sure you subscribe to Three Brothers No Sense. We're on Inspire You on Air, Contentville, and we also on every podcast platform as well as YouTube. if you're watching us. And last but not least, my favorite basketball team, the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo. Congratulations on the 83 points. I know a lot of people didn't like it, especially Kobe stans, basketball purists saying it was unethical how he got it. Point is, he got it. Like Marlo said, Marlo wanted to wear the crown. And his boy said, it's a lot of graveyards and jails full of people that wore the crown. Marlo said, the point is they wore it.
Forward.
Okay? Yeah. And furthermore, that first quarter that he had,
37?
31 in the first quarter. So his first, to me, excuse me, his first 3.5 quarters were phenomenal when he got up to about 70 points. Now, that last quarter and a half, I get the criticism. I get it. But at the end of the day, he got to 83, and he's not even a scorer. So that makes it even more phenomenal. So congratulations to him. I know he caught a lot of heat.
And
pun intended. He caught a lot of heat from
But
it.
that's so crazy. Like, if it was so easy, if it's cheap, everybody could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, name your favorite basketball player and it's like, oh, I'm going to get 84 tomorrow. Okay, go. Go. I mean, we're that judgmental. I was going to ask you about that. That was one of my questions to kind of just finalize. I was going to congratulate you and say, is this an asterisk? Because I heard a lot of people putting that. Like, he got 83, but it ain't 83. Like, no, it's 83 because they won by a lot. He shot a bunch of free throws, and he had to get to the line, meaning he was probably attacking. But, so I was going to bring that up. Sterling K. Brown, speaking of him earlier, if you have not checked out Paradise, check out Paradise. That show, when I say just, like, okay, didn't see that coming. It's like, all right. Well, damn. So, it's good. It's good. Paradise, it's on what? Hulu?
Yeah, or Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Go check it out. Go check it out. Sterling K. Brown is awesome in that show. The new season is completely different from season 1. And so you get all new characters, all new everything. It's really good. And last but not least, give me 1 second. I want to make sure I say this right. And a little worried with this. I don't know all the details yet, but I'm going to silent for the loss of Lieutenant Colonel Brandon, Shaw, who was killed in the classroom yesterday. So this would have been Thursday the 12th, in the shooting at Old Dominion University. He was a professor of military science and the leader of the university's ROTC program. And the reason I'm singling him out is with everything going on, I don't know if they linked the shooter to any terrorist activities yet, but that's an investigation. But the shooter was subdued by the brave ROTC people in his class. So, like, that's how the shooter was taken down. And so he was in the thick of it, and the people came, the students, ROTC students came and subdued the shooter. And
They killed him. They actually killed him. They beat him to death, barehanded, and killed him.
Yeah, they'll never be the same. And don't know if it's linked to what's going on in Iran or in the Middle East, but it's a scary world. It was already a scary world we live in. And now the last thing we need is more things to fear. But like all this travel I got going on, I don't even sleep well before. Never slept well before travel when PTSD kicks in. Whole nother level now. Therapy people, be safe, be vigilant. They rerouted a plane leaving, was it Florida or on a, I'm trying to think. They rerouted a plane landing in Atlanta last week because of a passenger on, I'm saying, a United flight
Was praying. Yeah.
was praying. He had an alarm to remind him to pray during Ramadan. So they hear this alarm go off, then all of a sudden, this guy, who I'm assuming in their mind fit the description, started praying and stuff. And he was detained, and they landed the plane, and it became a big deal. So
Speaking of flights and travel, I don't know exactly what's going on, but all 3 airports in this area have been grounded. That's BWI, uh, National, and Dulles. They've grounded all flights at all 3 airports up here. So,
this just happened today?
yeah, like a few hours ago. So, see what's going on, and probably if it's worthy, we will post it on
Okay.
our social media.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you guys for another great show. Thank you, audience. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Contentville. Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. 6 rules of podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.